project is called The Ripple Effect of Education, How Faith Will Fight for Women. I want to start off by introducing you to someone. This is Danya. In 2010, when this picture was taken, Danya was 13 years old. She had been married at the age of 10 and was pregnant. This is Geeta. In 2013, when this picture was taken, Geeta was 15 years old. Depicted also is her 8-month-old son. What these women represent is the stories of millions of girls around the world who have been stripped of their opportunities and forced into child marriage. Now let's take a look at numbers for child marriage in South Asia. In 2017, 17% of girls were married by the age of 15. That's nearly 1 in 5. Within the same year, 45% were married by the age of 18. That's nearly 1 in 2. Every year around the world, 12 million girls are married underage. That's nearly 23 girls every minute, and nearly 1 girl in every 2 seconds. The heart of this issue lies within gender inequality enforced by a patriarchal tradition. For centuries, men have dominated this area. Religion can serve as an unexpected but effective solution to this issue. Religion is defined as a cause, principle, or system of beliefs held to with ardor and faith. Around the world, religion runs lives. Whether it's clearing your schedules and standing in the cold to buy Christmas presents in America, or rising early for morning prayers in Pakistan, or if it's celebrating with colors for the festival of Holi, or mourning in the month of Muharram, or spending a lifetime finding peace within yourself. Religion dictates people's actions, beliefs, and overall lifestyle. The 3 most prominent religions in South Asia are Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. Contrary to Western beliefs, these religions promote female equity. What do you think of when you look at a hijabi Muslim woman? Or a Hindu housewife? Or a Buddhist nun? Well, most people will say that they find these women oppressed or forced into living the life that they live. Western beliefs cloud our perception. We automatically connect South Asian faiths with oppression, especially in regards to women. But we should be putting the blame on patriarchy and the culture that's developed instead of blaming the religions themselves. When we look at the heart of these religions, the teachings, the role models, we find that these ideas and what they mean to people, we find that these ideas support women and promote equity. So let's take a look at that. We'll start off with Islam. The first role model in Islam is Khadija. She was the Prophet's wife, Muhammad's wife, and she helped the spread of Islam. She was a wealthy businesswoman that inherited all of her father's money and raised a family while doing so. Next is her daughter, Fatima, who continued Muhammad's lineage because she was his only child. She was the breadwinner of her family and a philanthropist within the community. On goes to Fatima's daughter, Zainab, and it's really clear that excellence runs within this family. Zainab was well educated and is known for giving one of the most prominent sermons in Shia history, titled The Khutbah of Zainab in the Court of Yazid. And she was a member of her brother's and father's cabinets in their reign as governors to the Umayyad Caliphate. And what these women teach Muslim women like myself and others is the value of being independent, a scholar, an ambassador of your faith, and a crucial part of history, or herstory. If we look at Buddhist teachings, we also find signs of gender equality. In Buddhism, equity is thought to be above everything. And under this tenet falls gender equality, giving people freedom to develop their own ideas, and prioritizing social growth. Now let's look at Hinduism. Hindu goddesses also reflect gender equality. Shakti is the goddess of life and power, and all other goddesses are incarnated from her. Durga is the invincible one, dedicated to fighting evil. And you can see she has weapons in her hands, which I think is really cool and fierce. And then there's Parvati. She's the goddess of love and fertility. And what these women teach the value of being a strong woman, revering the virtuousness of women, being a leader and a benefit or virtue to society. And when we look at all of these religions, we find, if they're taught and communicated properly, that there is a chance of a gender equal future in South Asia. So look, okay, and how can religion be the solution to gender inequality? Well, it's clarified already, as I stated, that the pure doctrine, the heart of these religions, shows the necessity of gender equality and promotes it. Beyond that, there's a simple three-step method, and it starts with us. We must, as Westerners, we must unlearn the stigmas we hold. When we see a Muslim woman, we should stop believing that she's oppressed and actually see the beauty behind her religion. We should believe that these women have better opportunities living in the area that they do. And then we must relearn, find out what these religions actually teach and what's actually in the scriptures. And keep equality in mind because it is within the text. And then we must teach the masses. It is proven that higher literacy rates means higher standards of living. If people in an area are more educated, they're more likely to solve the issues their society faces. And we see that with America. In America, literacy rates tend to be higher because public education is available and it's free, but in countries like Pakistan, where my parents are from, you have to pay for education, so many people that cannot afford it miss out on it. And by using religion as as a motivator for education, we'll be able to give more girls a chance to pursue higher education or even learn how to read and write. Because in these areas, religion is thought to be above, religious education is mandatory, technically. And the mother is seen as the first teacher. I remember my mom taught me religious education when I was 3 or 4, teaching me the prophets' names and simple things, but that expanded into me wanting to learn more. And these values are passed on from generation to generation. When someone's looking for a bride, they want someone that's going to be able to pass on their values. So having a woman that's religiously educated is very important. And if women are more educated, they'll be able to participate in society confidently and be able to improve it. Right now, because there's so many low, literacy rates amongst women are so low, so only half of the population is participating because they're forced behind closed doors. And as a result of higher literacy rates, the gender equality will move like the ripple effect. One place progressing will motivate others to do the same. So let's take a blueprint on how we would go about doing this. From a selected area, as an example, I'll use my mom's hometown, Manzarabad. So you would collect and analyze data from that area, find out where the schools are, if there are any in the area, how many students are in school, how many aren't, how many women, or how common child marriage is in the area. Also, you would want to learn more about the religion. Manzarabad has a mix of both Sunni and Shia Muslim people, so that would have to be kept in mind when you're assessing or formulating a solution where we are now. So it's important to lead with the faith. People tend to trust people more when they understand their background. When someone understands what it means for me to be Shia, I kind of am able to communicate with them better. So building bridges is very important when we're trying to change the condition and raise the literacy rates. We would also start off by building a very basic and adaptable curriculum. Within the first 3 or opening a school, you would have a variety of students coming in from the age of 30 to 3 years old, trying to learn whatever they can. So you need to have a curriculum that'll cater to many people while still giving everyone a chance to settle in. And it's very important to accommodate diversity. As I said before, there's a variety of people that need educational opportunities here, so it's very important. And then immediate action is necessary. As I said before, 12 million girls around the world every year are forced into child marriage, and it's important for us to immediately start a program like this and jump right in because the situation is very bad. And when a diverse student population has developed and there's a regular amount of students coming in, you would expand your curriculum to cater to everyone's needs. My mother stopped going to school after 5th grade, so there's many cases of people that are in their late 40s that don't even know how to read and write. You would want to account for them. My mom can't read and write them. But there is a variety of students that need help, so you should have a curriculum that addresses specificity. And then we would go on to reflect. After our school has been open for some time, we would find out what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, check in with the community to see how they feel about our program, and then we would go on to addressing their concerns, finding the holes in our program and improving where we can. And then finally, we would assess our success. Was the literacy rate achieved that we wanted to? Was our goal achieved? And if it was, we can move on to a new area and start again while also maintaining the schools that we've already started. And if we haven't, we would fix those issues, find out what it is that we're doing wrong. Now, the budget for opening schools within an area, I did it based off of my mom's hometown, as I said before. For the first year, it would be $425,000. And then for the budget for having headquarters in America, that would allow people to get supplies and resources, would be $600,000. So that would total to $1.3 million. So now, educated women are better mothers, aware of their rights, and better members of society. And in this journey to making equal education and literacy rates amongst women higher while bringing down rape rates, child marriage rates, and overall female inequality rates, religion can be a tool. It is not a stigma that holds us back, rather something that brings people together, and we should use it. As my presentation comes to an end, 276 girls have been stripped of their opportunities. But if we are able to walk away from the stigmas we hold about South Asian faiths, we can help change the situation there and give them opportunities. Thank you.
We can always see a brighter side of things from other countries' perspectives, like dealing with the religion thing of Islam. And yeah, you think there'll be a brighter side of seeing things?
I think, yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to highlight, that we always see these religions as, I mean, especially with Islam, and I feel it more because I'm Muslim, there's always that talk of like the terrorist thing. Like, you know, there's always that mention of like terrorism and the negativity that's in the mass media about religions, and it's not necessarily like that. Even things with like arranged marriage, which is seen in South Asia very commonly, we hold negative reservations about that. But if we were to learn and like collect data on what people actually feel about their religions and what these values mean to them individually, we would actually be able to see the better side. And that's why I think there's a stigma, because we see the negative side immediately rather than finding out what are the teachings, what do people actually believe, and see what's holding them back, what the problem is. Because we're quick to blame the religions when we should be blaming, as I said, patriarchy or gender inequality or social constructs that we've made ourselves.
Do you plan to go to South Asia and source of information?
Yeah, so the research proposal that like I intended in building the schools and expanding the curriculum, it's based for schools in South Asia. So I gave my mom's hometown as an example because it is very, like, it's a developing area and there's a lot of poverty there. So allowing people to have an educational opportunity there is very important. And my aunts like have a school based from our house in Pakistan, but it would be nice to actually have like an official school for students to go to.
Because of the gender inequality there, do you think it's safe to start a program that's helpful to them?
So I spoke to Ms. Kenny about this a lot, and I see it's in the media as well, where many people social trust is very important in a situation like this, and that's why we start small. I don't plan on building like a big school building in the middle of town for everyone to go to. It would be small homeschool based schools, so people aren't feeling like they're forced to go. When there's a big change, people start to feel insecure and feel scared. But if we were to start small and build those bridges, I think people would definitely lean towards saying, yes, I'll send my daughter to school for an hour because I feel like I trust you, rather than saying, you know, having, like, this school just got built here, and the sense and the process of building a school and like that anxiety that people feel that, oh my gosh, my values are being taken away from me, that kind of makes them, I'm going to say it straight up, in those areas men tend to become more insecure more quickly, so it would be really important to ease into it and work with the leaders, work with the police, everyone that you can get trust from, you should, because that's how the smooth transition would happen.
What can Western cultures do
As I said before, we want to unlearn what we know and stop holding the reservations that we do. I think people that are, I go to a very diverse school, so I tend to like try to walk away from any stigmas that I hold. But people that are more closed off, I think educating yourself is very important. And I'm from South Asia, and I have a good idea of Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism, obviously Islam because I am Muslim, but when I learned more, I did kind of understand how the women feel and how people approach these values, because we often kind of just know that, like, oh, arranged marriage is a thing that happens in South Asia, or there's a practice of sati within Hinduism, but when we learn the background of those things and we learn what they mean to people, we can have a better opinion of them. So I think educating yourself, the unlearn and the relearn is so important. And then when we go on to teach others, that's when the ripple starts and we spread our knowledge.
You talk a lot in reference to like the misconceptions America has about South Asian history, and I completely like agree that to some degree. But do you think there's like issues that those countries, some of the countries, solve internally, like child marriage, like rape?
And yeah, I agree definitely. And I think it all starts, even for our issues as Westerners, it all starts with the education that you have. In those areas, a lot of the issues have continued on for this long because education is not seen as a priority. But here in America, we know that school is important and that's why it's free here. But in those countries, it's not seen as a priority to everyone. So I think definitely education is really the beginning, because those issues are there because people aren't educated enough, and the idea of like growth, social growth as a unified sector is not really prominent there.
Out of curiosity, about your community leaders and your government, like, are they willing to help out? As you get the fundings and resources, will they contribute to any degree?
I think I think they will, because when you think about like politicians and people, they always promise growth. And especially in this day and age with technology and people connecting within the touch of a button, that education is very necessary because people need to know how to use the technology to connect. And everyone wants what they don't have. And in those areas, education is what they don't have, so they all want it. But no one is being like, okay, I'll fund this and I'll back you up. So if someone gets the opportunity to be like, literally all they would have to do is support us and advertise us, because the funding would come from here. So if someone just only has to say, yeah, I'll be there for you, I think they would be willing, because that's how they're going to get their support when they run for a position. And they also are, I mean, everyone wants their society to grow at the end of the day. They don't want to be left in the dark. And enlightenment is very important. So I think they would. And if someone isn't willing, I think we can do just fine without, you know, the governor of the area saying so, because we're building trust within the people, and we're going up to community members and being like, hey, is there any way I can help you improve your life? And if that bridge is able to build, then maybe we won't even need higher power.
Thank you.